California doesn't even produce its own food or energy. Yeah, but everybody just thinks about, like, Hollywood and Silicon Valley. You like the hiking trails, that's it. The redwood forest would be an unfortunate loss, but, you know, it's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Probably be better off economically without California. I mean, maybe. Speaking of which, hold on. I wasn't going to talk about this one first, but I might as well since we're on the topic of California. Hold on a second. Hold on a fucking second here. Speaking of California, I'm gonna just like type this into Google and get a different article just in case. Okay, all right. And there's like a whole bunch of different articles here. So, where's my browser? Where's my fucking browser? Nim's not awake yet, so he can't wrangle me. That's how that works here. I can't be wrangled if my moderator isn't awake. Wah! San Francisco Reparations panel pitches $5 million each to black residents. $5 million each.
Tabs, you psychopath.
Fuck you. My tabs are necessary for living.
No mods in the chat. Ever lucky.
Excuse me. Freedom to rant. Let's go, dude. I'm black now. It's funny you say that. We're all black now, honestly. Because the way that this is worded, it doesn't say that you have to be black. Just identify as black for 10 years. A San Francisco panel studying reparations has proposed a one-time payment of $5 million to each black resident of the city deemed eligible as recompense for the decades of harm they have experienced, according to a report on Monday. A lump sum payment would compensate the affected population and will redress the economic and opportunity losses that black San Franciscans have endured collectively as the result of both international decisions and unintended harms perpetuated by city policy, the San Francisco African American Reparations Advisory Committee said in a draft report issued last month. Why does a San Francisco African American Reparation Advisory Committee, what a fucking mouthful, but why does that even exist in the first place? All right, like why is that a thing? Gavin Newsom hate. God damn. Graf Belltower, thank you for the fucking 2 months, my guy. Thank you! How many are they giving to the homeless? What are the homeless? Are they black? Because if not, they get shit.
Baby, can I have the
Politics. Love ya. No terror here. Thank you for the 6-month resub. Thank you. We only talk the most ridiculous politics here. Only the most wild and alien concepts on this channel. We are supposed to learn from our past, Anakin, not copy it! Why is California still a thing? Raze it to the ground! I'm sick of California. Can't wait for people to visit the line several times because people are giving out money. Oh my god, that's actually racist! Isn't that all politics at this point? Sometimes you think balkanization is the only best hope we have. Yes, because inflation is fine. Yeah, just print $5 million for every black person. The proposal could cost the city, which has a 2022 to 2023 budget of $14 billion, roughly $50 billion. Why does one city have a $14 billion budget, and yet they can't stop the homeless from shitting on the streets? This is like primary example of the government money laundering and just lining their own pockets. They're just like, we got a $14 billion budget, but we can't keep human feces off the street. We don't have enough money. It's like after that study that happened showing that throwing money at inner city schools didn't really make any fucking difference at all. And then people were like, well, just throw more money at it, right? That should certainly help. They believe in people's freedom of shit. I love ya. Thank you for the heckin' 5 gift subs. Thank you. Thank you for 5 gift dues. Thank you. The fuck was that? I don't know. A lot just happened. So you're gonna have to be more specific. I like how we're giving money to African Americans when Native Americans had it worse in American history. Shh, Lich of Death. You can't say that genociding Native American tribes is worse than slavery. That's racist. Did I see the video of the guy spraying the homeless with a hose of water? Yeah, and then people started getting angry at like the bar, even though the guy didn't even work at the bar. That was fucking weird. Can't believe California's Rule 34 in their constitution is letting this inflation pass. Google Rule 34 inflation to find out more. Don't do that. Don't do that. The noise? I'm a soundboard, Deadly Flames. That was probably a noise that I made at some point. I don't know if it was a noise I made in real time or it was my alert, but it was a noise I made. What about the Japanese during World War II? I actually brought that up. I actually brought that up before when somebody in my Discord was arguing for reparations. I was like, do we give the Japanese that we interned during World War II kind of reparations as well? Because, like, while they weren't doing slave labor, they were still held against their will, right? And, like, on occasion, some of them were used as, like, prison labor, right? So, like, technically, you could make an argument for a type of slavery. And they were like, no, that doesn't count because it didn't go on for as long. And I was like, are you telling me right now that you're actually completely fine with the Japanese internment that we did, but you have a problem with slavery of other races? That sounds a little racist to me, actually. They got stripped of everything they owned. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. You know, they can bounce back. They can bounce back. Look at what happened after we dropped the sun on Hiroshima. Look at how great that city is now, you know? Like they don't need the help, right? Jesus Christ. They attacked 3 boats and we dropped the sun on them twice. Oh my god. The Japanese can have a little slavery as a treat. It's okay to be racist to Asians now. I'll tell Tim the good news. I've been calling him the G word for years, but you know, now I'm gonna tell him I'm allowed to, legally. Listen, nuking Japan brought anime, and that's why Japan actually won the war, alright? We might have dropped the sun on them twice, and that ruined a couple of generations of people, but they made anime, and anime has ruined many more generations of Western men, alright? The anime to femboy pipeline has had dire repercussions on our society. Japan won the war. You can't convince me otherwise. They got the cultural victory, exactly. The sex G word or the, oh my god, repulsed, the racist G word. Shouldn't have fucked with our boats. Those are my boats. Those are my rubber duckies. It was only 20k an apology, but they did get something. England lost as their empire just crumbled afterwards. True. Slave don't know when. I don't know. I don't solicit donos. They just happen. Hiroshima now has 0% unemployment thanks to us. Jesus Christ. Welcome back, Desk Chan, my guy. How you doing? Fucking Christ. The committee also proposed wiping out all debts associated with educational, personal, credit card, and payday loans for black households. So wait a minute, hold on. You're gonna get $5 million liquid cash and every single debt you've ever accumulated wiped out. You know, if I was in California and this had passed, I would just be like, let's fucking rack up all the credit card debt that I can before this debt forgiveness comes in, right? Let's just fucking buy everything, you know? Holy shit. And like, actually, at that point, in California, they've had so much issues with crime recently. Why even pay for anything, right? Like, go to the high-end stores and use your credit card to get the debt that's going to get wiped out by the state. And then when you want little things, just go and steal it. It's so simple. It's so easy. We shouldn't give money to people that get debt. The money needs to go to people that are good with money. Well, a lot of, like, really, really rich people have a fuck ton of debt as well. Because, like, declaring bankruptcies and offloading certain assets actually helps you make more money in some cases because of, like, loopholes in some of the, like, business law shit. So just doing that, like, carte blanche doesn't really address the issue. Can we drop the sun on San Fran? God, I wish. God, I wish, dude. Fuck the banks, but still, what the fuck? What the fuck? Didn't California pay criminals to not do crime and then crime went up, or was that just an idea? I remember them proposing to pay criminals to not do crime, and then crime didn't go down anyways. I don't remember exactly when that was, though, but I do remember what you're talking about. Alovcha! Thank you for fucking 5 more gift subs. I feel like every time you show up here, you just fucking slap your dick around. You just you show up, you drop a whole bunch of gift subs, refuse to extrapolate further. Thank you, Alovcha. By 1992, the U.S. government eventually dispersed more than 1.6 billion, equivalent to 3.67 billion in 2021, in reparations to 82,219 Japanese Americans who had been incarcerated. Interesting. So the Japanese did get reparations. If the Japanese got reparations, doesn't that mean by that logic that we should be giving reparations to other people? I'm not for reparations personally, but like by that logic, that kind of opens the door for reparations to other areas, right? I still find it hard to find mod that participates in the streams. Yes. Yes. Putin, please drop it on San Fran and DC. Russia. All right, Russia. Well, how about we make a deal, okay, Mr. Russian man? You can do whatever you want over on your little area here. We'll stay out of it as long as you take California from us. At least the Japanese are still alive that were harmed. What? San Francisco has a good Azure Lane ship. That's about it. Just like move the ship before you nuke it. It's so simple. Reparations for people sold without a receipt. Well, I mean, if we're really going to get into the nitty-gritty of it, right? Instead of asking for reparations from people who owned slaves, why not ask for reparations from the people who sold them, right? Go to the root of the problem. Back to the San Francisco fucking weirdness, though, because I'm only halfway through the article. The 15-member panel was established by San Francisco supervisors in May 2021. A separate task force created by California's legislature is also studying reparations. The city group's report says reparation must be adequate, effective, prompt, and should be proportional to the gravity of the violations and harm suffered. So, if reparations need to be proportional to the gravity of violations and harm suffered,
just actual fucking degenerates,
then everyone gets $0, right? Because no one alive right now experienced slavery in the United States, right? So the reparations wouldn't be 5 million; they would just be 0. It would just be 0. It added that members of the black community demand reparations not to remedy enslavement, but to address the public policies explicitly created to subjugate black people in San Francisco by upholding and expanding the intent and legacy of chattel slavery. Okay, so that's how they get around it. That's how they get the $5 million instead of 0. They're like, it's not about the slavery 200 years ago. It's about San Francisco's political policies that uphold the legacy of slavery. What? It's residual slavery. What the fuck? I don't even... The report notes that while neither California nor San Francisco formally adopted the institution of chattel slavery, other aspects of segregation... Wait a minute, hold on! They address the public policies explicitly created to subjugate black people in San Francisco by upholding and expanding the intent and legacy of chattel slavery. And then they immediately say, well, California as an entire state never formally adopted chattel slavery, but we're gonna make a pay for it anyway. What are these mental gymnastics? Other aspects of segregation like white supremacy and systemic repression found in the legal system, social codes, and extra legal actions were designed to exclude blacks. Can you point to me the exact aspects of segregation in San Francisco law that perpetuate these things? Can you point these out to me? Because, like, what? That was certainly a dono noise. I loved you. Thank you for 5 more gift subs. That's fucking 20. That's 20 in one stream. What are you doing? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Truly a brainiac moment. Jesus Christ. To be initially eligible, applicants must be 18 years old and show that they have identified as Black or African American on public documents for at least 10 years. All right, so the key here is not that you even have to show ancestry. You just have to identify as Black or African American. So, like, it doesn't matter how fucking lily-ass white or from, like, deep south Argentina you are. You just gotta identify as Black and you get $5 million and all debt wiped out. It's so simple. Honestly, you wouldn't mind paying reparations if that means we don't hear about slavery anymore. Jesus Christ. How do you do? How do you do, fellow African Americans? Where's my $5 million? Are they speedrunning a failed state any percent? If California wasn't a part of the United States, I'd be morbidly curious how quickly they devolve into Zimbabwe, but like, because they're part of the country and thus can be federally bailed out, I just want them razed to the ground at this point, you know? They will never not bitch about things. God damn. Fucking Californians, dude. Do half Black people get 2.5 million each? No, because all you have to do is identify as Black. They don't use the half or the 1/4 or whatever. Like, as long as you identify as Black, you get $5 million. It's so easy. You're Swedish and the Vikings were Black, you've heard. That's true. You could just walk in and be like, hello, I have African Viking ancestry from the Swedish snowfields. The tricky part is the 10 years. Do you have any idea how many people have been preparing for this kind of thing, though, Repult? Like, the amount of people who have switched, like, their gender or their race on their driver's license for the haha funny are now, like, actually prepared for this shit. Easy money glitch. One cool trick the IRS doesn't want you to know. Let me just retcon my docs, dude. God damn. They must also prove that they meet 2 out of 8 additional standards, include being born in or having migrated to San Francisco between 1940 and 1966, and having proof of residency for at least 13 years, being personally or a direct descendant of someone jailed in the failed war on drugs, or being a descendant of someone enslaved before 1865. All right, so this is a bit more of a stringent policy. However, being personally or a direct descendant of someone jailed in the failed war on drugs. Imagine serving like a fucking 90-day sentence for having too much weed on you, and now you're gonna get a $5 million windfall. Holy, like, I think the war on drugs is kind of fucking bullshit, right? Like, I mean, it doesn't really do anything. Let's be real here. But holy shit. You mean jailed by the current Vice President Kamala Harris? You're not allowed to talk about that. Stop noticing. But like, yeah, this is a bit more of a stringent policy, I would say. I don't know how many people are gonna meet this standard, and I also don't know exactly how they came up with this standard. I wonder if there's people who are on the committee who meet this standard, and that's why this is the standard. War on drugs list is a bit much to sort through. The committee will make its recommendations to the city in June, and the Board of Supervisors President Aaron Peskin told the San Francisco Chronicle that he hopes they will be approved. There are so many efforts that result in incredible reports that just end up gathering dust on a shelf. We cannot let this be one of them. Yeah, just strike it down immediately. Please, California, for once in your fucking lives, do something sane. The report does not include any estimates on the overall cost of the reparations. Why would you ever approve something that has, like, an open-ended budget? Like, what? Weed bros get a win just this once. San Francisco is already reeling from a lower-than-expected property tax intake because of the coronavirus pandemic, and Mayor London Breeds. What a fucking name! Imagine being named London Breed. Your name is literally a fucking meme. Oh my god. Office is predicting a budget shortfall of roughly 728 million over the next 2 years. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Let's see. I would quit work tomorrow if my city passed such a law. Half my family fought for the North in the Civil War, half came from Finland. I and mine owe no one a thin dime. I wish that would be something I could do, right? Like, for as shitty as the place I live is, at least we have somewhat sane, like, legislation here. But if I lived in a place that was, like, trying to pass reparations, if they passed reparations, I would have to weigh my options, right? I'd have to be like, do I want to pay taxes into something that I don't believe in any way, shape, or form, and is basically just stealing from me? Or do I deal with the IRS from just shirking my taxes for years? Because it's going to take the IRS a few years to even catch on that I'm not paying taxes, right? So, like, I'll have a few years of sweating bullets, and maybe by that point, I can just, like, soldier off my fingerprints and go into woods, you know? Maybe I could just, like, fucking go off grid. I don't know. I'd have to weigh some options at that point. You don't make over 200K, so they won't manually audit. I don't know. They're dropping the fucking 20K plus threshold for reporting to $600 fucking dollars. So, you know, maybe they are gonna care. Why would I say that on tape? It's all in Minecraft, of course it is. Don't worry about it. It's a hypothetical situation. I don't live in a place that's in danger of passing fucking reparations. Grab SKS, go in a woods. Oh my god. In the face when you don't believe in paying taxes in general, but alas, the curse of belonging to society. I mean, yeah, I pay taxes now, even though there's stuff that I don't want to be paying for because it's like, it's just the easier thing to do at the moment. But if shit gets too wild, hypothetically, you know, maybe just ditch that city or state. Remember the second and most famous, oh, that's what you mean? They might get you with a bot, but they won't have revenuers manually audit you? Fucking bots, dude. Minecraft Revenue Service. Yes, the MRS, the new wing. They'll claim the money is coming from the city, but the city gets millions from U.S. taxpayers. Every San Francisco company, which will be paying this extortion money, will be raising prices to its customers. That's okay. Those prices won't be reflected in products made in other places, and they won't sell. San Francisco will soon discover the consequences. I don't think they will. Reparations have already been paid off with the employment quotas, college quotas, NAACP, and everything else. Again, everyone has the same equal opportunity. It's the input and effort put forward by the individual. Hey, these comments are kind of fucking based. I'm a little surprised. I'm a little fucking surprised. NorCal isn't as cucked. Those are probably Northern Californians in the comments. Maybe. I think people in San Fran are going to be upset if there's more human feces on the street. This will be fun. They think the exodus of businesses and private residents out in the Bay Area is bad now. Just wait until more tax revenue is lost. I recall the words of a famous economist who about 30 years stated, you can take all the money in the US, divide it up equally, and within about 2 or 3 generations, it will all pretty much be back to where it was originally. Gavin Newsom is absolute poison for California. In his January 1964 State of the Union address, President Lyndon Johnson proclaimed, "This administration today, here and now, declares unconditional war on poverty in America. In the 50 years since that time, U.S. taxpayers have spent over $22 trillion on anti-poverty programs. Adjusted for inflation, this spending, which does not include Social Security or Medicare, is 3 times the cost of all U.S. military wars since the American Revolution. Yet progress against poverty, as measured by the U.S. Census Bureau, has been minimal, and in terms of President Johnson's main goal of reducing the causes rather than the mere consequences of poverty, the war on poverty has failed completely. In fact, a significant portion of the population is now less capable of self-sufficiency than it was when the war on poverty began." And that's because when you get on government assistance incentivizes you staying poor. You're not allowed to own a certain amount of assets. You're not allowed to have a certain money in your amount of money in your bank account. You're not allowed to have savings like a normal human being. Getting any kind of government assistance incentivizes staying poor to keep getting that money. war on poverty, but the government is on poverty's side. Yeah, basically. All part of the plan, dude. If you move up, you lose it, and it's really shitty. Exactly. And like when you hit the threshold for them like cutting you off, you're not making enough money to be self-sufficient. So you basically have to like try and work under the table. But if you're working under the table, you can't really like put that on a resume or anything. So you're kind of getting a little fucky-wuckied here. Yeah, it's like a brick wall. The government likes it that way.